Most people believe that productivity is a sign that life is working. The more that you accomplish, the more organized that you are, the more you check off your to-do list, the more successful and important you must be. And if you're a thoughtful, capable woman who cares a lot about living consciously, productivity can feel especially satisfying. There's a small dopamine hit every time you check something off your list. Your brain rewards you with the feeling that you are moving forward. But when I tune into the Akashic Records, for my clients, it's often revealing something surprising. Sometimes productivity isn't progress. Sometimes productivity is avoidance. Not because being productive is bad, but because doing and busyness can become something that keeps you moving so fast that you never slow down long enough to hear what your soul is actually trying to say. So here's the question I invite you to consider as we explore this today. Is your busyness a bridge or a barricade? Now, there is a biological reason productivity feels so good. And of course, there's a place for it. And you also want to be aware that every time you complete a task, your brain releases dopamine. You feel capable. You feel accomplished. You feel like you're moving forward. And culturally, we reinforce this. We reinforce it constantly. Busy people are seen as important. Productive people are seen as valuable. But the Akashic Records often reveal a deeper truth. From your human perspective, you might feel like you're moving quickly, but from your soul's perspective, you're not moving at all. And I'll share more about the difference between your soul's perspective and the human perspective in a few minutes. But for now, just notice if this feels true for you, that the pace of activity and the illusion of progress, that can actually prevent you from seeing what truly matters to you in your heart of hearts. Because when life is full of constant activity, there's very little space for deeper awareness to naturally surface. And until we give ourselves that sacred space, we may never hear the deeper guidance our soul is offering. To understand what's happening, let's look at the day-to-day framework that most people are living inside. Our culture has quietly merged two ideas that are not actually the same at all: being busy and being important. So, if your life is full of activity, you can easily assume that you're on the right path. But many thoughtful, high-achieving, high-capacity women eventually discover something interesting. They are accomplishing more than ever before, and yet they feel strangely empty inside. Not because they're doing something wrong, but because productivity has slowly become a distraction, and the need to be busy is often hiding something far more important. When we are constantly productive, we rarely slow down long enough to face the deeper truth our soul is asking us to see. And a lot of people would rather feel productive and exhausted than briefly uncomfortable because they may not know that that temporary discomfort can ultimately lead to a more fulfilling life. So let's look at what that feeling of being productive but feeling empty or exhausted is actually saying. When you're feeling a sense of emptiness or burnout, the Akashic Records don't interpret that as failure. They interpret it as information. Emptiness is not a lack of value, and it's not telling you that you're not doing enough. It's a message. It's your soul quietly saying, what you're prioritizing right now is not actually aligned with what matters most to you. Yet, many people respond to that feeling the same way. They try to outrun it. They add more goals. They look for more ways to increase productivity. They exert more effort. But the soul isn't asking for more activity. Your essence, the soul part of you, is asking for more self-honesty. And as long as the deeper truth underneath your busyness is ignored, the emptiness will remain. So let's look at what the soul actually prioritizes. One thing the Akashic Records reveal very clearly is that the soul measures movement very differently than the human mind does. From the human perspective, movement usually means starting something, finishing something, producing something, achieving something, or proving something. But from the soul's perspective, movement looks very different. The soul is far less interested in what you accomplish and far more interested in who you are becoming while you live your life. Your soul cares why you are choosing what you're choosing. Your soul cares about who you are being. Your soul prioritizes truth over appearance, growth over comfort, self-love over self-betrayal, authentic expression over approval, and presence over productivity. So, when life is organized around productivity rather than soul alignment, we can end up repeating the same behaviors and the same patterns of thinking over and over again, which can look like movement on the outside, but from the soul's perspective, nothing has actually changed. You're recreating the same behaviors and the same patterns again and again, rather than living from genuine, heartfelt desires. To show you what this might look like, let's look at how different soul archetypes in human bodies can get caught in this trap. Each of us tends to express productivity in our own way. In my free soul archetype quiz, there are 12 archetypes, and each archetype has its own favorite flavor of staying busy. Not because anything is wrong with them, nothing could be further from the truth, but because we are all souls that are operating inside a culture that confuses busyness with importance and value with how much you do or how much you give or how much money you have. So, for example, the hero archetype might equate purpose with solving yet another problem or rescuing another person. Helping feels meaningful, but if she's operating from the need to be useful or important, the hero might unknowingly keep others from doing their own soul's work. Or She may even create problems that she then has to solve in order to feel valuable. The nurturer archetype is often that person that everyone comes to for comfort or advice. She is the steady support for everyone around her. But if she begins measuring her worth by how much she does for other people, or how caring she is, or how selfless she appears, she may slowly drift away from her own soul's path. Her own heartfelt desires can quietly move further and further into the background. And the magician alchemist archetype can stay incredibly busy chasing one manifestation after another. So setting new goals, trying new techniques, refining her mindset. But eventually, many magician alchemist archetypes reach a moment where nothing seems to manifest anymore, no matter what they do or what method they use. And that moment isn't failure, it's a signal, a moment where the soul is asking them to slow down and examine why they are pursuing what they are pursuing in the first place. Each archetype has her own way of living on purpose, but they can also have their own way of staying busy or staying productive and useful, which takes them away from their true priorities, which is almost always about your evolution in consciousness and how you are actually showing up for yourself first and then others. So, how do you recognize when productivity might actually be hiding something that's deeper, something more important? Let's look at 5 signs that your soul might have something important to share with you. Number 1, you feel restless even after accomplishing things. You finish tasks, but the satisfaction fades very quickly. There's always another goal. There's always another improvement to make or another thing to fix. Number 2, stillness feels uncomfortable. If things slow down, you quickly find something else to do to fill the space, not because it's necessary, but because quiet space feels unsettling. Number 3, your value feels tied to usefulness. You feel most worthy when you are helping, fixing, organizing, or producing something. And rest can actually begin to feel undeserved. And the 4th sign that your soul might have something important to share is when your life looks full, yet you feel that something important is missing. Your schedule may look productive and successful, but emotionally, something feels flat, something's off. And number 5, you avoid deeper questions. Questions like, what do I actually want? What matters most to me right now? Is the life I'm building actually aligned with who I am? Those questions get postponed because the to-do list always feels more urgent. So productivity itself is not the problem. And I want to be clear about something. There is absolutely nothing wrong with accomplishment or having goals. There's nothing wrong with being productive. There's nothing wrong with caring for others or being of service. The question your soul is asking is not about what you are doing. The question your soul is asking is why. you are doing it. Because when we use accomplishment, serving others, or external success to assign value to ourselves, the soul cannot support that structure. Not because those things are wrong, but because your value was never meant to come from what you do. Think about it. You would never, ever assign value to an infant or a child based on whether or not they can feed themselves or pass a test or do something for you. Their value already is. Your value just is. So there's never been anything to prove, period. Your soul wants you to be genuinely happy as you grow and evolve. So your soul supports what you genuinely want to express, not the belief that you have to earn your right to be here. And when that shift happens, something beautiful begins to change. Service can come from love rather than from obligation or in order to be seen as good. Accomplishments become creativity rather than proof. Productivity becomes true self-expression rather than a way to feel important. And instead of trying to prove your worth through accomplishments or service, you realize that you have always been worthy. Some people stay busy solving problems. Some stay busy caring for everyone else. And some stay busy chasing the next goal or manifestation. But you were never meant to become valuable through your service, accomplishments, or through your sacrifices. You are meant to express, not impress. If you're curious about which pattern might be shaping your life right now, your relationships, who you're being, I created a free soul archetype quiz that can help you see which archetype is most active in your life right now and how it might influence the way you pursue purpose, success, and fulfillment. You'll find the link to the free soul archetype quiz in the description box below. And as always, thank you for watching, for being part of this evolution in consciousness. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.